they'll be calling you a radical. The ground nesters have been forced to the tops of buildings anywhere they can get. Why? Because Utah's destroyed their habitat. Drain the swamp. Oh, they didn't drain the swamp. They drained the wetlands and entombed them with concrete. Forced them to the roofs of buildings. Well, what happens when you build a university in a wetland and a hospital? The greenwashing buzz. Yay. Kids, now tell me, where do we get electricity from in Utah? Oh, Warren Buffett. Yeah, he owns Rocky Mountain. Well, where do we get electricity? Oh, from coal. Oh, yeah, fossil fuels. Why don't you just use the sun all day, every day? Because Warren Buffett blocks it. They've extended life. John Curtis right there in that building. Right there where he's told me. He speak with Fort Tongue, John Curtis. He says, we got to let the free market. And then right in the same line, he says, nuclear energy has to be a piece of this. The greatest oxymoron in human history is nuclear energy and free market. There is, so just keep throwing pork to it. Keep throwing pork to it. The greatest greenwashing university history. They've lowered their footprint here dramatically. You see what's on that building that he was speaking at? You see what's on that building? Yeah, those are solar panels. So they've radically lowered their consumption of electricity on this university. And they're running records. How did they do it? Solar panels. There's no nuclear energy in Utah. Oh, just the waste, the toilet. But John Curtis loves it. Why? Because the puppet masters told him. They write his narrative for him. Oh, the political scene in Utah is way past an insane asylum. As he said, the great George Carlin, selfish, ignorant people will elect selfish, ignorant leaders. When you get rid of one batch of them, you just get another batch of them. Maybe there's something else the matter with the fabric of America. Maybe it's just not all the politicians. You get rid of selfish, ignorant ones, you get a new batch of them. Maybe the problem is something else. The people. They're socially engineered into dogma. Run and give some money to Tim Ballard. Warren Buffett. Wow. And Bill Gates. We're going to fund SMRs in Kemmer, Wyoming that don't exist. How about the New Scale sham? We got ripped off hundreds of $millions and nobody seems to care. They're still living the nuclear energy fairy tale and fantasy. Meanwhile, Warren Buffett at 93, that dirtbag's still chasing money. At 93, still chasing money. At 93, still chasing money. Says they're extending the life of the coal plants in Utah. Why? Because he's still chasing money. They're sick of us. Why is it not all solar? California producing more solar than anywhere they can put it because states like Utah are blocking it. If you were allowed to sell solar panels back into the grid, this university's been cutting edge on solar energy for decades. I remember when I was going here clear back in the day, when I was teaching here, when we were the #1 school business in the country, the engineering department was the very first ones to come up with the solar panel little carts for construction workers on sites. And oh, what a great tool it was. You know how long that panel's been there? Oh, a long fucking time. So, but the politicians here still say we need nuclear. Oh, okay. All right. All right, they're insane. So it's real simple. California producing more solar than they can use. They have nowhere to put it. I have people that I know personally in Las Vegas, not that long ago, 8-9 years ago, that were making on their house, on their residential home, because they were allowed to sell back into the grid unlimited. They were making $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month selling back into the grid. I've been saying this for years. California is producing more solar energy than they can use, yet they want to keep Diablo Canyon open. Why? Why? Lessons from Fukushima unlearned. Why? Why would they do such a thing? Because they're fucking insane. Because, well, they're puppets. That's why. Because the nuclear energy crime through your own money, Price Anderson, the Department of Nuclear, which is now called the Department of Energy, is just slamming money at these guys for decades and decades. And you know what kind of money's in these budgets every single year? And these presidents, there's no difference between any of them. You think the Fukushima trilogy, the cover-up, the greatest crime in human history, Biden, Trump, and Obama, there's no difference whatsoever. They have hammered nuclear energy. Just hammered it. Why? Because the puppet masters tell them to. I mean, there's no difference. They covered up Fukushima, the greatest crime in human history. You're just going to chalk up the collapse of the Pacific Ocean to coincidence. Kevin Blanch, the greatest scientist, probably marine biologist in history. Probably the greatest scientist in since Semmelweis. We don't do coincidence in science, right? No, we don't do coincidence in science. You have to have observational work. Where's all these scientists, these copy and paste PhDs? Academia is being outed as the giant fraud that they are. I went AWOL here years ago. I was the student professor running the show here at the #1 school business in the United States. Number one. My class, where I was a student professor, still to this day, the highest exit test score in the history of freaking the United States. I was the guy here, #1. Did the due diligence on the reactors, whatever. Well, of course they blackballed. Now they're under investigation by the FBI. Now, how did that happen? Oh, Warren Buffett. What? Warren Buffett took over the Weber State School of Business. That's an unarguable fact. He come in here, Bill Childs and him, who owned R.C. Willey's, Buffett bought it and come in here and bought them. I remember when it was going on, and then right as we got our MBA program in 2000, what's the odds of Clyde Cooley getting radical virus into his brain 2 weeks? 2 weeks. 2 weeks before the #1 MBA program in the country. You know, so I taught it, I ran it for, 5 years. Boy, did they screw me. Could have paid for that's academia. The fraud of academia is being outed right now. Copy and paste PhDs, bow to all this money that's thrown at them, no matter who it is, in public universities. It's unbelievable. And people are still going along with it. Well, not everyone is. There's plenty of people who are trying to, it's like, no. I'm not turning over my fucking work to the JSTOR. What a scam. MIT, Aaron Swartz, that's what he was doing, downloading the JSTOR. Why would it be when he came here, go to the JSTOR? Why would he came to Harvard? For a Japanese PM to come to the United States once in 40, 50 years was a major deal. Abiy met with Trump 17 times, including the first person in after the night of the election. I was there at the White House the night of the 26th election. I took the bus in the middle of the night to when Abiy hurried and flew in to Trump Towers. I was there. Play back the tape, Your Honor. He gets sworn in, and the first thing they do, who meets? Now, think about this. Now, who meets with Trump at Mar-a-Lago? Abiy, and they black out the windows and let no media out there? The greenwashing bus. And Robert Kraft? Why would he be there? I'm starting to connect the fucking dots. Whoa, whoa. Talk about Inflategate, Spygate. I mean, how many of those Super Bowls did they cheat? How many? I mean, we may never know. You think MIT was in on it? I don't know, but they might be. So the empty greenwashing buses. Kids, where do we get electricity from in Utah? It's important. Don't get hit on the hook there. Look at that. Woo, woo. Careful where you walk. So poorly thought out. Well, it was supposed to be a tram. It started in the 90s. The footprint, the concrete footprint here alone. I got to show you this one here. So this concrete's only 2 years old. The concrete, you know about cement. You know, cement, the making of cement is so dirty and nasty. I'm the old concrete guy, the plaster. You know what the concrete footprint is to the environment? Oh, it's gigantic. So the rest of the world here at Greenwashing you know, they're lowering their electricity, but they're still upping their footprint radically because of parking and cars and cement. You know how much cement this university has poured in the last couple of years? Let me show you this. Just hastily done, poorly done. Here, you know how old that cement is right there? Quality right there. How about their weird stuff they stuck on there? That's supposed to say bus, whatever. So poorly done because there's no craft. You know how old that cement is? Nice, right? Don't trip and fall. You know how old that is? That cement is 2 years old. Really lovely craftsmanship. Of course, they come for the craftsmen. So I'll tag this. They're producing more solar than they can use, but it's puppet politicians like John Curtis. You know, they're all puppets. We got to keep them coal plants open for Warren Buffett. And you know, people don't even know that Buffett owns Rocky Mountain Power. You know, Rocky Mountain Power owns the plant in Kemmer, Wyoming. Oh, they're going to turn it into his best buddies. Bill Gates, SMR factory. They get the money up front, and then Price Anderson, they don't have to pay it back. NuScale, didn't NuScale prove it to you here in Utah? 10 years, one person fighting back on NuScale. What credit I get for it? Nothing but fraud. They ripped us off hundreds. If you pay a bill, Rocky Mountain Power, it's coming right out of your bill to this day. It's going right to Bill Gates. Now, it was going to NuScale. Probably still is. NuScale ripped us off. Then they come out and says, oh, whoops, we don't have it. Of course they don't have it. It's a fairy tale. It's a freaking scam. You know, so there's the answer right there. California's proved it. You know, the sun shines 300 days a year here. In Nevada, 320. If you allow people to sell unlimited back into the grid, we have a grid. We have a grid. Fucking the sunlight right here can be in Times Square at the speed of light. We have a giant desert here, if you haven't noticed. A giant desert in the United States. A vast, vast majority of this United States is this desert. Europe doesn't have that yet. I mean, how about Costa Rica? They're 100% alternative energy. Well, they get most of it from hydro. Yeah, so it's still alternative. It's not coal. It's not natural gas. It's not nuclear. Nuclear makes up shit. But you're going to keep Diablo Canyon open. Oh, one update. I got an update for you Weber Staters. You know, I'm so pissed at Weber State right now. You don't even know. I'm getting ready to probably file a lawsuit against them. I got an attorney that wants to take it on. You know, they could have paid for my cancer treatment. You know, all the back pay they owe me. You know, I mean, you're talking, I had 30,000 shares of Tesla stock in 2011. Talk about opportunity cost. 30,000 shares, playback tapes right on YouTube. Remember all that Apple stock? I had to fork it over to get in the bone because they could have paid for my cancer. But no, they blackballed me. Why did they blackball me? I just told you. Because Warren Buffett and Bill Gates, there's a picture used to be in the wall, Warren Buffett's and Bill Gates with Alma Harris and myself playing golf. I had to take 4 showers. There used to be a picture on the wall in there of me and Warren Buffett together. Because I used to fly on Bill Child's Learjet back to the Berkshire Hathaway. We take students back there. I'm doing an interview with Chris about 9/11. I taught the derivative arb class in the #1 school business in the country. when 9/11 happened. I taught it. That was they were in my class. You know, Chris is the one that called the FBI on him when she spotted him in here that day, and they were arrested on this campus. 5 of them. She's going to do an interview with me tomorrow. It's her last day. You know, so we'd go to the yellow meeting. Yay, whoop-de-fucking-do, you know, because you have to have X amount of shares. You know, the gazillionaires flying to Omaha, Nebraska from all over the world. This is I remember in 2000, because he was having the poor year because the .com, he refused to buy .com stocks. And so I walked through, and he has his, you know, security there with him. He's an arrogant dick, by the way. And I walked through, and I says, you know, Mr. Buffett, what did I say about you having a bad year? And he was snootier than fuck. What does that mean? I says, even Babe Ruth had slumps, and I walked off. And Kyle's like, hey, he's waving you back. He's waving you back. He's waving you back. And I look back. So I go back there, and he popped a bunch of pictures off with his photographer, and he sent them to the school, you know, with me. You know, promotion to still the School of Business, which now they're under investigation. You can look it up. One of the professors that took over my position forbids students and Utah legislators to go see the Dalai Lama. Made international headlines. They're under investigation by the FBI for selling state secrets. You know, look it up. And so how do you go from first to worst? All right, from first to worst. And I just told the university president, you guys owe me. When are you going to make it right? Everything that I've done and what you did to me, I was right the whole time. I fought. I'm like, no. Clyde Cooley dropped dead suspiciously. Oh, fuck. Are you kidding? 2 weeks before, they're trying to get it. They're doing everything they can to try, and he will have none of it. The #1 finance professor in the country, bar none. I have the last letter of recognition he ever fucking wrote. Here we go. That's how they sold it to us, the supply chain, for the F-35s. Oh, wings, we will pretend. So, it's outrageous. And I don't care if this gets 4 fucking views, because you're so, you know, my viewing populace, well, I'm so kettled. You know, I used to be able to spit on the ground and get fucking 5,000 views. But that started when they killed net neutrality. And Biden's going to fix that. You know, Trump caused that. You know, and that was in 2017-18. They started to kettle me and go after me. Fuck, for what? Telling because of Fukushima. Now Google's come out and admitted anybody that uses the word Fukushima, nuclear meltdowns, dude, descending down staircase. Fucking anybody using the word Fukushima meltdowns, they were going after. Well, there's only one fucking person on Earth. Go ask everybody in Japan. You know, go ask Kathy Iwani. Go ask Rachel Godoya. Go ask Nato Khan. Go ask them. You know, what they did to me, I just did the greatest PhD in human history. Dead tide pools at your feet. Maybe I can go tide pooling here. You're going to see the same amount. They turned this into a concrete pond. So what? So the geese cannot nest. There was 33 juveniles on this last year when they drained it. Geese. There was well over 100 ducklings. You know how many there are this year? There's no ducklings. No, because there's no cover. The nesting sites, see them right there? They're trying on that little path. But the berm was made, this is a natural wetland. They entombed it with, well, maybe they could turn it into a spent fuel pool. Why not? We don't make nuclear energy here. We just store it here. Ask them at Energy Solutions. We just fund fake fairy tale, nuclear scams. Ask NewScale. Ask Terra Firma, freaking Bill Gates. You know why? Because Warren Buffett says so. 93 years old, still chasing money. Charlie chased money right to the day of his death, and he was 99. What you're going to gain by extending your life a little longer if you have no integrity. So, look at the old willow. I mean, you look at my videos through time on that willow. What a beautiful, magnificent beast it was. Till Fukushima happened. There they go. So those are the only 7 on the pond. Now, how those pulled it off is beyond me. They're just smarter, you know. That ain't saying much. That's not a very high bar. 200 years right here. 200 years. Almost to the day, Jim Bridger right here. The first of the fur traders. Fur traders. Fur traders. If that's trading. There's probably Oh, there you go. They're up there. I think there was probably one nesting up there, and those kids just chased it. That's why they're screaming. I just saw it. That's probably where they hid and had nests. You know, but that's what people do. You know, they torture animals because they're taught to do it. They're socially engineered to it. They don't know anything about it. The old willow was such a magnificent beast. Look at that thing. It's not even that old. I don't know why I call it the old. I'll tell you how degenerate it is around here. Caldwell is the worst mayor in the history of the city, bar none. He, on 2750 Monroe, which they need to change that to Bernard DeVoto Avenue, right by DeVoto's house, there's the oldest tree in Ogden. It's this giant box up there. And it's old. I mean, very old. Nothing wrong with it. Healthiest piece. Sure, it was there before they even built what is now Monroe. Which, by the way, the names of those streets have changed names multiple times over history. Named after Monroe? The president? What? So stupid, the names in fucking... Well, the name of Ogden. Peter Ski and Ogden never set foot fucking here. And talk about nasty, evil, dangerous. That was probably the male chasing away from the nest. They don't know any better. So I'll talk to them in a cordial, nice way and just give them some education. They don't know. Who's going to teach them? We were say professors. They're copy and paste PhDs with no field work. Look at this freaking crew. Where's your field work? Where's your observation? The typos your fee. I stood right here in March 2011. Just remember when you look back, 10, 12, 13 years from now, I stood right here. Early March 2011. Saddam was saying that weapons of mass destruction. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Pat Tillman fired off 9 million Al-Qaeda and no, he didn't. His old man shot him. George W. Bush won Florida 2. No, he didn't. Just remember they're set up. They're saying that Fukushima is not a meltdown. It's safe. Barack Obama said it's safe. You know, the plume's coming over us. Just remember when you look back thereof. They're saying it's not meltdowns. It's not. Honey Gundershield said it was a hydrogen blast. Helen Caldecott said the Japanese were tidy people. They cleaned it up immediately. Freaking Chris Busby said the Pacific Ocean's a big place that dilute these. Paid oppositional resistance. Kevin Blanch right here. Just remember, when you look back to, I've told you right here, take cover. These are full-blown outmouths. Well, it's going to give you leukemia. It's going. Oh, I got leukemia. The fact that I go into the bone marrow trance on 11/11/11 and this university betrayed the shit out of me, and I was right the whole time. From first to worst. Well, of course you don't care. Nobody wants to watch and listen to this because they can't handle the truth. They don't want the fucking truth. It's too uncomfortable for these fucking weaklings. You know, what a sickening group we've turned into. All you, no, just this batch of humanoids. Baby boomers and echo boomers in the United States of usury. Angela Merkel was a fucking nuclear physicist. She shut down all the nuclear reactors. You think that she didn't know what she was doing? Or quote Oppie himself. Pop, Oppie, drop. Oppenheimer, 1940. If the Germans want this weapon, they will have it first. They're the greatest nuclear physicists on Earth. They didn't have it. He dropped them anyway. They never stopped. Academia's been captured. I've proven it. The greatest PhD, first you hypothesize. These are full-blown out meltdowns. These suns, which are hundreds of millions of degrees, these cores, they're that hot. The hottest substance has been released into the biosphere the first time in human history. The first time in human history. One at Chernobyl and 700,000 men entombed, including a mining operation underneath it. It happened. And Obama just make it so. They went into cover-up mode. Axelrod, I mean, it was the perfect storm for a nuclear meltdown cover-up. The guy in the White House was completely 100% propped up by Exelon, the nuclear energy crime syndicate. That's where Axelrod come from and Rob Emanuel. They're right out of the nuclear industry, right out of Exelon. Now, did you see the CEO of Exelon who orchestrated all these bailouts and died just the other day at 65 of a sudden illness? Sudden illness is not a cause of death. You know, just like the tide pools. What wiped out the tide pools? Oh, it's just wasting degrees. What caused wasting degrees? Oh, now it's being verified. Kevin Blanch's work he did in real time on the wells. Oh, it was a starvation event, just like Blanch said. All the biosecurity started 2011, 2012. What caused the freaking start? Oh, global warming. You're telling me global warming started in 2011, 2012? I don't think so. Even the UN's freaking Wikipedia page says it's over time, man-made. We know that was an outlier. Kevin Blanch's tide pool work alone, me on mountain, let alone my salmon work, let alone my well work, let alone my work at the IEA, let alone my work at the fucking UN, in DC, at the White House, fucking with the media. I've asked every politician in this fucking state to their face. Look it up. Romney, Lee, Curtis just the other day about this. They just lie to me. I asked Trump from here to there, yelled at him, "Hey, Trump, you gonna freaking talk about if it was on Fox News, Salt Lake?" Yes, did he? No, he met with a B-17 time. What do you think they're talking about their Bob Kraft? What do you think they're talking about their golf game? So you're gonna flip your soup can? Yeah, why the fuck not? It's been a hell of a journey. It's a heartbreaking journey. I think about it. It's very disappointing. My crab bag. I've had open heart surgery twice, as you know. Mike Lee kicked me out medicated, almost killed me. I got cancer in 2011, just like I stood right here and said, it's going to cause a heat dome over the western United States, which it did in 2011. Kevin Blanch, I'm the guy that named it. The blob, I'm the guy that named it. Say, what caused the blob? Acidification. When the healthy species moves in, what moves in? Just like in universities. Money, scum. It's black mold. Black mold. That's the blob. I'm the guy that named it the fucking blob on the ocean. I'm the first one that started reporting fucking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of observation and field work. First, you hypothesize the knowledge. These are full-blown up meltdowns. This radical energy is going to push into the Pacific Ocean. It's going to cause a heat dome over the western side. It's going to get into the fucking pine trees. It's going to cause the fucking most acute radical fire situation in history. Plutonium fires, I named it. It's going to fucking collapse the tide pools first. The salmon number will be the smoking gun because steelhead salmon go to sea for 1 year. They will collapse on in 2011, 2012, which they did. We don't get dead tide pools, Kevin Blanch does. We don't get dead humans in bone marrow transplant units. Oh, Kevin Blanch does. It's going to cause a cancer epidemic. Now that's been verified. The 2011, now they're saying that the cancer mean was steady until 2011. That study's out there. I presented it. All the data is catching up to Kevin Blanch now. That we saw the great outlier that changed in the cancer freaking epidemic started in 2011. I got cancer in 2011. Just the fact that I go in the bone marrow on 11/11 with no chance to live. I have AML de novo. There's no way. Well, it took out my heart valve. And they wouldn't treat me because Mike Lee kicked me off Medicaid. Why? After I forked over $1 million worth of Tesla and freaking Apple stock. You know what that'd be worth today? Hundreds of millions of dollars. Fucking broke me, impoverished me overnight. Fucking the greatest PhD in human fucking history, bar none. What do I get for it? I get slandered by my own government. They hired teams of fucking trolls. Teams of gang stalking trolls went after me daily. I used to fucking spend hours policing my site. I mean, just viciously. While I'm in critical felonies in all 50 fucking states. YouTube pages, Facebook pages by the dozens in those early days. Attacking these agent provocateurs come in and said they were my friends and took out my radio show. Took YCTV, they took the whole thing down. That was their plan. So, I mean, it's unbelievable. So let's keep Diablo. Oh, why? I'll pack this. California producing more solar than they can use. So, I mean, and they're blocking it from coming into the grid, which I've been saying for years. I've been saying for years and years and years, and you won't believe me. Hello. This is the greatest PhD for Blanch TikTok, Diablo Canyon Clock. Let's hope I'm not right on that one, because I think it's going to happen there. Bowling for Diablo. Don't let that sun get in your eyes, Blanch. Don't drop your dry cast container into your spent fuel for Weaver State. This place is degenerate and hates the ecology. That's all I can come up with. Is bowing to these freaking dirt bags. It's a no-brainer, the sun. It's a no-brainer. The greatest PhD in human history. What the fuck did I get for it? Slandered. Open heart surgery twice. Fucking a pacemaker. I've got a pacemaker. You know, my healthy body. I'm just like this tree. This willow. Fuck is that tree paid the price? You can look into my videos because I do them all right there for all these years. And I've stayed on it and I've been relentless because I'm not going to let them fucking win. It's like fighting cancer. I'm going to see my pacemaker fucking doctor right now. Huh. What a journey, huh? What a journey. Fuck, I would have never believed that the whole world turns their fucking back on me. Why? Because you're fucking into your political fucking dogma reinforcement fucking on YouTube. It's just YouTube. It's just fire. It's just the will. Here we go. My guess is that's where those geese had those babies, is up here on the creek. Because I saw that one coming at him, chasing. There's probably a nest up there because you see those kids run. Because that male will come after him, protecting a nest up there, I'll bet you. So, oh, there we go, a flock. There's a flock. What's that? That's a flock of F-35s. Oh, wings, we will pretend, because that's what American war pigs, fucking industrial war complex dreams are made of. And in the end, oh, wings, we will pretend. Fuck. It's unbelievable. Long video, I didn't intend it. I just saw the Canadian on the Union. There's some beautiful, incredible fucking landscape of this campus. Oh, it's all that. It's fucking grand. But so is the student body. It's grand. They have a grand student body. Faculty? Not so much. Pitiful, actually. The Board of Regents is pitiful. I like how they had graduation on Chernobyl Day, and their logistics over there, the water school business now, they do logistics when they cause the greatest logistics fucking nightmare in the history of fucking Ogden, Utah. Should have seen that fucking traffic jam. Because they had rain. Why would they have him speak here? Why would they have Rashid Shaheed speak here? Or Teron Johnson? Or even Dylan Jones, the Arthur Ashe winner? You know, again, Eddie, I want you Weber Staters, Eddie Heckler got an invite to the Broncos. So Winston signed with the Cleveland Browns, First Energy, they're gone. So good for him, man. I haven't heard on Maxwell yet, but Noah Tagis is born and raised right here. We love that guy. He's awesome. He's got an invite to the Bears. So that'll make Klauke happy, right? That's Klauke's team. Klauke will get a kick out of that. We love Klauke. There's a lot of good here, but it's not faculty, and it's not the Board of Regents. What they did to me, I mean, I'm getting ready to file a major lawsuit against them. And it's outrageous. They cost me fucking hundreds of millions of dollars. What they did to me, Mike Lee kicking me out Medicaid when I'm in a bone marrow transplant center? Why the fuck would he do such a thing when he told me right there when his dad died young of this disease? I interviewed him right there. I'll get right back to you, Kev. You know, this week. You know, it's on that video, should have fucking hundreds of millions of views. Fuck, I could put the reels of Putin. The real JFK on the grassy knoll video up. In clear, crystal clear in HD. And it would get fucking 128 views. It's called internet kettling. It's disgusting what they've done to me. Well, it's against the law. Well, what they've done to me, I'm a tree, the ecology. I'm no different than this tree. I'm no different than the tadpoles. I'm no different than the whales, the sea lions, the fucking seals. What a cute radical catastrophe. The Chinook salmon. First came the god of salmon. They'll collapse in 2016. Record returns. Remember record returns? I got to talk about this before I forget. This kid dumped the bleach in at one of the hatcheries and killed 20,000 fish because there's a big movement all over. I'm not one of those guys that they want nothing but wild caught fish. And I get that. But the problem is, and then they interviewed ODFW on the news, Portland News, should have heard her. She was like, oh my God, I consider this murder. And I'm like, you're a little over the top. You know, she's just going psycho and crazy and talking about the economy and the fishing industry. And I'm thinking to myself the whole time I'm listening to her. This is just recently on Portland television. I'm listening to her and I'm thinking, yeah, you're sit back and watch. You work for ODEV and watch this radical 97% collapse in the Chinook salmon on the ocean post Fukushima. And you're saying this is murder. Well, what about the nuclear industry? What about Fukushima? They're dying at sea. They're dying at sea. So, you know, you can release them. I mean, and do you know right now today, they're radically shooting and killing all the sea lions in the Columbia River. And nobody's shooting any video. Where's the media in Oregon? Nobody's shooting any footage or video, which is legal. Congress passed a law, the Teabaggers, in 2018, their last act, to kill sea lions for eating salmon, because that's what they're blaming the salmon collapse on. You're out of, I mean, they're insane. So they said this week they're going to start killing all of them. I talked to Martin today. He says, oh, they're killing them left and right up there. You know, and there's no footage. There's no media covering. You got Kevin Blanch. Fucking, it's incredible. I would have never believed any of this. So, the Great Pacific Genocide. I know it's a long video, but whatever. It's got to be recorded in history. It's got to be put there. You know? So, it is what it is. You know, and I've done the greatest PhD in human history, and what did I get for it? Impoverished, slandered. Oh, I got a badge of honor. A pacemaker. You should see my fucking scars up and down. My chest has been opened twice. My heart pulled completely out. I have a fucking bypassed aortic valve. I have a partial root because I was kicked off Medicaid. And so the first valve, I'm telling it's not working, it's not working. I'm telling Colorado it's not working, it's shooting down my arm. You know, they wouldn't listen to me. Fuck. It blew up and ruptured right there at the valve, just like they said. Dr. Goff saved my life, but these fucking Colorado doctors. I've seen the best doctors in the world, and I've seen the worst doctors in the world in the same offices, by the way. You know, fuck, what a journey. It's been brutal. I lost all my teeth. I lost my gallbladder. You know, I lost all my money. I lost all my relationships socially because of slander. You know, and these agent provocateurs who supposedly my friends who teed me up. So, you know, it is what it is. But the data supports all my work now. You know, it's unarguable fucking proof, the greatest outlier in fucking history. Well, at least since 416 Krakatoa we know something radically crashed and happened now because Kevin Blanch's data is all being verified now, all these years later. The greatest outlier, that's what we do in science. We don't fucking make shit up. You know, we don't do coincidence. Scientists are mystified, they're baffled, they're stumped, they're curious, they're alarmed. I was never. I stayed on this, I hypothesis, I did 13 years of fucking field work, and then I defended my work against this tsunami of fucking ignorance and fucking hate and lies, and I prove it. And then it becomes a knowledge, which I named Fuktonium. The Great Pacific Genocide. We know unarguably that the greatest outlier in fucking history since at least Krakatoa happened in the Pacific Ocean over the fucking North American continent, which spread to the entire globe in 2011. It's absolutely unarguable. My tide pool fucking data is being confirmed. My salmon data is all being confirmed. The cancer epidemic exploded, and it's all being confirmed that this all started, including the heat dome and the fires, in 2011. All in 2011. Just like Kevin Blanch said. This is the greatest ecological catastrophe in human history. And no one gives a fuck. Well, stay in tune.